Now let us look at the various payment modes that are available to make payments for the clients. Once an order has been placed on the system, the client would receive an email with a payment link. The client can make payments to multiple modes. Through the link, the client can make a payment through net banking, one-time mandate, or could enter the UTR number for the NEFT RTGS payment that he would make, though it is not mandatory. Besides these two modes of payment, the client can make a payment through check as well as NEFT RTGS. The client would not require the payment link to make these two modes of payment. Let us look at the payment link that the client would receive and how he can make a payment using the payment link. The client receives the payment link and clicks on check orders and make payment option. All the orders that have been placed would be visible on the screen. Client has an option to make a payment through a single mode for all the orders or make payments in different modes for different type of orders. In case if the client would want to make a payment through one mode, client selects on the checkbox, ticks it and then selects the type of mode. As you can see in the drop down, there are 4 modes that are reflecting. The first is direct pay, second is nodal pay, third is one time mandate and fourth is NEFT RTGS. In case if the client's bank accounts is either ICICI, SBI, Kotak, Yes Bank, IDBI Bank, HDFC Bank and Axis Bank. The client can go ahead and make a payment through these modes. If the payment is made through any one of these modes, then in that case we receive the funds real time. In case if the client chooses a nodal account, then in that case the funds would be received at our end on a T+1 or a T+2 basis. So, in case if a client is making a payment for liquid funds or for a high value order, then in that case the NAV could be hampered. Request you to accordingly intimate your clients to make a payment to the best mode where we can receive the funds immediately. So, in case if a client opts to choose through maybe the nodal or the direct pay, then in that case the client will have to select the bank and then the account number and click on initiate payment. Once the client clicks on initiate payment, another page opens up giving all the details of the transaction with the amount. Client needs to click on payment request. Once the client clicks on payment request, the client is directed to the web page of the respective bank. Client has to log in and go ahead and make a payment. In case if the client selects an option as one time mandate, the client will select the option of one time mandate, then select the bank, select the account number, and in case if the mandate has been approved, only then will the mandate reflect. Once the mandate ID has been selected, the client can go ahead and initiate a payment and confirm the payment. There is one more point that you need to note is that while making a payment through the mandate, through the one time mandate, you can only make payments through the NACH mandate and through the E mandate. You cannot make lump sum payments using the ISIP mandate. So these are the two modes through which a client can use to make a payment from the payment link. Besides this, the client can also make a payment using NEFT RTGS, the details for which are mentioned on the screen, and also client can make a check payment. I would explain the check payment facility. Check payments can be made at two different agencies. One is Karvi and the other is Axis Bank branches. In case if you would be making a payment in Karvi, the client can give a check to be drawn in the favor of Indian Clearing Corporation Limited. There are three details that need to be mentioned on the reverse of the check. The first is the member code, the second is the client code, and the third is the order number for which the payment is being made. You can make a payment for multiple orders using one single check for a single client, irrespective of the number of the different AMCs or different schemes. Also, in case if a check is being deposited at Karvi, you would need to ensure that the check is deposited on T day before end of closing hours for Karvi. The second option of making a check is to paying through the Axis Bank branches. To pay through Axis Bank branches, the process is different. Client can give the check in the favor of Indian Clearing Corporation Limited, and then you would need to go to the tab of check collection. In the drop down, the first option is what you need to select, that is the check collection entry option. Enter the client code, click on view. You see that there is an order for this client. Need to select on the check box and then need to select the bank for which the check has been issued. Next, the branch name, the IFSC code, the account number would display by default. In case if there are multiple accounts for the same bank that has been registered, select them accordingly. Mention the check number. Select the date that is mentioned on the check. Mention the check amount and click on save. The check entry has been completed. The next step would be that you would need to go to the option of check deposit challan. Here in the process type, first select view details, click on view, and then as you see there are details mentioned for which you had saved earlier. Click on the check box, save the selection. The verification has been completed. The next would be go again to check deposit challan option, select deposit challan from the drop down, click on view. You would see there are deposit challan numbers that are reflecting with the amount. What you need to do is you need to select on the deposit challan number. A deposit challan is generated. Here there are two options that you can choose from. Either you could take this deposit challan that you have generated along with the check and visit the nearest Axis Bank branch, and you could submit this challan at the counter. Ensure that you mention the deposit challan number on the reverse of the check. In case you do not wish to get the deposit challan printed at your end, the other option would be to visit the nearest Axis Bank branch, there you would need to fill up their deposit slip and you need to submit the same. The deposit slip that you would need to submit there, this is the deposit challan slip that you would need to fill. You need to mention deposit challan number and the deposit challan number, mention easy pay and fill up all the details. You would need to fill up details for each check separately. Some points to be noted is that in case if you are generating deposit challans, you would need to generate deposit challans for Axis Bank separately and for non-Axis banks separately. In case if you select Axis Bank challans separately, the client gets the benefit of a funds transfer. In case if you generate a non-Axis Bank challan and mention details of an Axis Bank check, the check will be accepted, though the client will not get the benefit of a funds transfer. It would be sent in for normal clearing. Also, in one challan you can have maximum entry of 10 checks. In case if you exceed 10 checks, you would need to generate a second deposit challan. Also, you need to ensure that you generate the deposit challan maximum by T+1 9:30 am. Though you can deposit the check on T+1 closing of business hours of that particular branch of Axis Bank. In case if you fail to do so, the order will get rejected. There's one more point that you need to note is that while making a payment through the mandate, through the one-time mandate, you can only make payments through the NACH mandate and through the e-mandate. You cannot make lump sum payments using the ISIP mandate. You also have an option of rolling back a check payment in case if your client wishes to make a payment through any other mode other than the check. To roll back a check payment, you need to go and click on the deposit challan link. Here you will get a group ID number which you need to make a note of, and then go to the option of check collection rollback, enter the client code, enter the group ID, mention the rollback reason and select rollback. Once you select rollback, you would receive a prompt stating that the rollback has been done for the group ID and the client. Once a rollback has been done, your client can go ahead and make a payment through another option. Thank you.